Well, you already know what type of time we're going to be on this summer. Quarterback competition, it seems like the local media is putting the wrist up. But the national media, they throwing them fours up. McNuggets, what are we going to do? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm curious what your thoughts are, but before we dive in, another national reporter, Ian Rapoport, who's now in the ESPN stratosphere, which just feels weird, but he was on SportsCenter with Rich Eisen in a crossover I did never expect it to see, was asked about the Browns quarterback situation. To your point, G, it feels like local media is trending in one direction, national trending in another. Take a listen.
The next team, who's the week 1 starter, Ian Rapoport, in Cleveland?
If I had to guess, and these are guesses, not reports.
Correct.
I always do this for the
Understood.
aggregators. Guesses, not reports. My guess is Deshaun Watson.
Of course it is. I'll say that.
But that's money talks, right?
No, because the money's paid already. That's different. You didn't. I mean, you did have to pay him years ago to get him, but that money's paid.
Right.
Here's why. Here's my argument. When he's been healthy, he's been for sure good enough to be a starter. And there are games when he broke his shoulder. Was that 2 years ago? 2 years ago, right? When he broke his shoulder.
Yeah.
He led the team back from a comeback, on a comeback, and was like, all right, this guy's really starting to play well.
Right. Then he got hurt again.
You're
right.
So I don't know, are these freak things? Who knows? But if healthy, I think he gives them the best chance to win. Now, it'll be a competition, but that's what I think.
But money does talk. I mean, if you've paid him all this and you got him for at least another year, you might as well get something for your money.
So, G, that was Ian Rapoport. We have a local reporter, Zach Jackson, sitting on the panel with us here. So why do you think there is kind of a disconnect in what local media is thinking versus what the national media is thinking at this point in the Browns quarterback race?
Well, I think when you get to the national perspective, it's more of a overarching theme. Like it's like a bigger, a wide lens view of the situation. And if you were to look at the wide lens view, I think one of the things that they're looking at is Deshaun Watson has a more extensive body of work. So it's easier for you to say, well, I remember when he was in Houston. I remember when he did this. And, but the problem is he said it perfectly. He said, remember he broke his shoulder? And, that was how many years ago? That hits you in the face because it's like, man, it's been so long since he played. And he's had more injuries past that. I mean, he's tore his Achilles twice. So for me, I think the biggest hurdle for me is thinking about it because I've torn my Achilles. I've had 17 surgeries. When I came back, I was just thinking about not being hurt anymore. I just wanted to make it through a whole year so that I could say, okay, my body is healed without being on the ground being like, here we go again. And for me, I think the biggest hurdle for Deshaun Watson and him and his quarterback competition is I just saw Kenny Pickett last year pull a hamstring, and basically that was the end of his camp. That was it. So for me, can Deshaun Watson make it through and get through every single day in practice, and you're fighting and going up an uphill battle against a younger guy?
For me, I think you kind of set it up pretty well there when you said, they're not as close to the situation as we are locally. And from a national perspective, I think a few things go into why they are saying Deshaun Watson can be the starter. I think they do remember when he was healthy and when he was balling out for the Houston Texans. I think the money for national people are going to always be a part of the conversation. On my way into work today, I heard LaShawn McCoy talking about Deshaun Watson should start because they owe him money, or Jimmy should get something else out of it. And so those are going to always be talking points. And besides, April 14th? You kind of need something to talk about. I think that Deshaun Watson is going to be highly motivated, and I think that Deshaun Watson is going to do everything that he can to try to win this quarterback competition. The problem is, me personally, I'm a long way away from those days to where I actually trusted Deshaun Watson to stay healthy, trusted that Deshaun Watson can perform like he did in 2020. Right now, the only thing that I trust is that he's highly motivated to go out here and compete for the starting job. Past that, I can't say I trust much else.
So it is the off season. It is April. This does feel familiar, right? Yeah. But it's a long way away. So locally, you're closer to it. Well, Deshaun, it's been years. It's been a year and a half since he's played at all. And that game that Ian Rapoport referenced is going back to November of 2023, right? It's like that's a long way away. And locally, I think there's a better feel that Logic and the Browns too often have not been friends. All Logic says is Shedeur Sanders. All logic says Shedeur deserves the chance, needs the chance, is the most direct line to getting away from Deshaun Watson. So as I've heard these same things through these months and through my travels and talk to people, media, work in the league, there is a shrug your shoulders like they're paying him. Like that's how teams operate. And we'll see. A week from today, they will be on the field for a mini camp, and there will be an all too early impression argument. Somebody's got to be first, right? Somebody's got to judge on what's going to be seen there. But all logic continues to say that the best thing for the Cleveland Browns is to give Shedeur Sanders every chance, every ounce of runway, every opportunity to win this job. And if he can win it, if he can keep it, if he can grow and sustain, that's great. But there is no way that in the Cleveland Browns' long or short-term thinking that they should be thinking Deshaun Watson's the best for this team in 2026, because 2023 and 2020 were both a long time ago.
Yeah, I look at it, and everything they tell me from, I guess, he asked his teammates, from Todd Monken, what he said. And I go back and Sims and Florio was talking about it. He said, man, don't nobody make no big deal of you changing your number if you're not going to be the starter, or if you're not going to be a dude that they're thinking about playing. I just think, to me, I want Deshaun Watson to be the best Deshaun Watson you can be. Because here's my dream. My dream is this. Deshaun Watson comes out and he's balling. But then Shedeur Sanders comes out and he answers the bell. And clearly both of them playing a high level, and Shedeur wins the job. If Shedeur wins that job and it's a good Deshaun Watson, at least the Cleveland Browns could come out and tell Zach or Jason or Mary Kay or whoever it would ask and say, hey, Deshaun played his tail off, but we just felt like Shedeur was better, and it was evident. And you know what they can then say? You know what we're going to do? He's going to be the starter for 2026, barring something catastrophic happening. And this is the guy we're going to put our money and the chips behind and give him the runway. And if you get that, Cleveland Browns fans should be excited, because they didn't give him the job. They didn't hand him nothing. He won it fair and square. And now you can put all your energy and effort into saying, all right, let's find out if this guy can do it. That's what I want. And to have that happen, Deshaun Watson has to be cooking. For that to be a problem for them.
I'm sharpening my pencils because we got another quarterback competition, baby.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, we are.
By the way, this is must-watch TV. If you thought the quarterback tracker was cooking last year, McNuggets, I keep asking, where is the Deshaun Watson interviews? We need
the interview tracker.
Where is the
Zach, are you going to be the first one to interview?
Because
Deshaun?
we haven't heard from Deshaun in weeks.
Has it been years? When's the
It's
last time
been
Deshaun's
years.
done an I think it's actually encroaching on years.
He has not done an interview since before his last game, to my knowledge.
So you're going to get Deshaun Watson interviews. You know they're going to ask him, Deshaun, do you think you're still a franchise quarterback? Deshaun, do you think this job is still yours? Listen, get ready. They coming. Get ready.
He going to be like, for glory.
Hey, listen,
glory.
Shedeur Sanders, what is your relationship with Deshaun Watson? Have you guys talked to him? What's the competition? And by the way, we haven't heard from Dylan. Dylan is back. Is he back in the building? Dylan is back.
Dylan back.
He's back, ready to go.
All three quarterbacks did arrive in Berea for the offseason program. All three were there. We got two.
And none of the three were made available for the first availability to start.
This gonna be hot. Everybody gonna have press passes this year. Everybody gonna be on the field ready to go.
Two super chats real quick to wrap up.